Hi, it's Cami from the blog and YouTube channel Tidbits. Now, we recently got a little flock of darling baby chicks just in time for us to discover that we knew very little about caring for them. Worry not, we are doing our due diligence and learning all that we can about raising backyard chickens. I'd like to give you a glimpse into a handful of the books that we've been soaking up to learn all we can for a healthy, thriving family of cheapers. I'm gonna take you right inside these books about raising backyard chickens and give you a review of what's included and what I like best about each one. Hopefully by doing so, you'll be ready for your own chicks by knowing exactly what resources will work best to guide you along the way. Now, I know the internet has just about all the information we would ever need for raising chickens. However, there is just something magical about disconnecting from our screens and holding a wealth of knowledge and experience in your hands. Now, we love books around here, and I knew if I ordered some good ones that my kids would be inclined to flip through and learn how to care for their new furry little babies right alongside with me, and hopefully without an ounce of nagging. Now, of course I was right, and we've all enjoyed reading about how to raise chickens. We actually do already have a few grown chickens who have just started laying their eggs, but this is the first time that we've ever raised new baby chicks, and we felt we needed all the help we could get. Let's flip through these 8 books and resources that I've collected. I'll show you what's included in them. I'll be sure to leave links to these books in the description below. Now, if you only want to invest in 1 or 2, I'll be sure to recommend which book has been our absolute favorite and perhaps which one you could probably get by without. Okay, let's first dive into this book called How to Speak Chicken. Now, it is written by Melissa. She's a blogger at Tilly's Nest. This is one of 2 of her books that I actually have. I thought it was a very, very clever book. She spent a great deal of her life observing chickens and learning about how they communicate. She talks about things like their mating calls and behaviors, things that they say after they hatch or they're brooding, all sorts of fun stuff about what your chickens might be telling you by the way that they act and communicate with you. So it is very interesting just to learn the nature of chickens and how they communicate. So this was a really honed in focused book that I thought was very clever. My kids have enjoyed reading it as well. Here's a little look at the back. How do flocks establish a pecking order? How do chickens learn from each other? How do hens talk to their chicks? How do chickens express their emotions? How do they greet each other? A lot of fun stuff just to get to know your chickens and their personality and how they might be talking to you. Okay, so this next one is 101 Chicken Keeping Hacks. Now, this one was unlike any of the others in my stack. It was more about the things that you can make for your chickens, what you can do inside the coops, the kind of herbs and other foods that they might like to eat outside of traditional ones. You'll see this homemade layer feed, a boredom buster block, homemade apple cider vinegar. It's less about the ins and outs of raising chickens and more about how you can enjoy them. I thought this was really cute. Converted chair into a nesting area. Very clever. Just some really, really fun DIY kind of hacks for your chickens. And we really enjoyed looking through this. And my kids have decided that they want to make several of the ideas in this book. It's a really fun one, and I believe this one will come in handy for many years for us. Okay, this next one, A Kid's Guide to Keeping Chickens. Definitely one of my kids' favorites. This one is an absolute delight. So it is by Melissa from Tilly's Nest as well. Like I mentioned, the same author of this How to Speak Chicken book. So this one is very, very educational. in a really, really fun way. So when you open the first pages, there's this cute little index that covers all sorts of things like why chickens, choosing the best breeds of chickens, the chicks, the first 6 weeks, making a home for your chickens, feeding your flock, all about eggs and what to do with a sick chicken, handling and training, chickens in the garden, chicken crafts, and cooking with eggs. It's just a really, really fun, informative book. She talks about her adventures. I love that she has these little sections where she has interviewed a kid and asked them why they love their chickens. Those kind of pop up throughout the book. One of our favorite pages is looking at these different kinds of breeds. There's 2 pages full of that, and we could identify a few of the breeds that we picked for our little flock. Another favorite page is this one that shows the development of the chicks in 6 weeks. Now, we thought it was just absolutely crazy. Right now, our chicks are only 3 weeks, and we're looking at how big they're going to get, and we're kind of blown away and quickly realizing that we need to get ready for that. So there's chicken coop designs, nesting box suggestions, talks about the kind of feed that they eat and their digestion, certain treats that you can make for them. She quickly addresses many of the diseases and complications that can happen in a very non-overwhelming way, which I appreciated. And then there's all sorts of fun activities and things that the kids can do with their chickens to enjoy them. Also, how to bathe a chicken. I had never thought about bathing a chicken, so that might be something we figure out. Anyway, I thought this book was really, really fun, and the kids just absolutely loved it. So that one's definitely a keeper. Okay, this next one, Story's Guide to Raising Chickens. It's the thickest book that I picked up, and most definitely has the most information available. So if you're looking for a book that is just cram-packed with everything you ever want to know about chickens, this is definitely the book for you. It says that 2.2 million copies have been printed and sold, and this is the 4th edition. So this Stories Guide has been around for a really long time and is just packed full of information. Now, I don't think it's one that my kids will sit down and be super engaged in, but I'm assuming it will be a really, really good reference to have just to pull out, and if we're ever wondering about anything, a really trusted, reliable source. So there is that one. All right, here's another fun one. Chicken fact or chicken poop. I have a little guy that just giggles over the title of this book. Okay, so this one is pretty interesting. There are several myths about raising chickens and things, and this one kind of clarifies whether it's fact or poop. So I'll just give you some examples. Clean the manure every day from your coop. He says that's poop. That's good, because I didn't really want to clean it every day. This is a good one. It's very entertaining to read, very informative, and can give you a little more confidence if you come across controversial topics and you're not sure what to do. So there's that one. Okay, let's get on to the next book. This one is called The Homesteaders Natural Chicken Keeping Handbook by Amy K. Fowle, and I'm not sure I'm saying her name right, but she does have a blog, thefowlehomestead.com. So what I really liked about this book was the natural chicken keeping. There are very conventional ways to feed and raise your chickens. She dives a lot into the more natural ways, like what herbs they love and how you can make your own natural organic feeds for your chickens. She points out that you are what you eat. And in this case, you can see how that might be if you are enjoying your chicken's eggs. Now this one is very detailed. She has a lot of stories, a lot of words, and it's a really good one if you're just wanting to sit down and really read and dive into a book. I don't know that my kids will ever read this one from cover to cover. but she has a lot of good information, and you can kind of turn to the chapters. Raising chicks naturally, she talks about natural preventatives and treatments for the complications that can come up. What to do with broody hens that want to protect their little eggs and hatch them. She goes into great detail onto that and how to nurture that and what happens when you have a broody chick. Here's a fun one about how to sprout wheat, something that chickens love, apparently. We've never done that. Also in this book, she talks about raising chickens for business, for meat, or to sell the eggs. So that's a really interesting perspective to hear from someone who has done eggs commercially and for business. She also talks about the chicken breeding business. So there are several ways to use your flock to help supplement your income. What I really loved about this book was the more natural approach. It gave us several ideas of what we could grow or buy to feed our chickens naturally. And I think that'll be fun to kind of dive into and see if that's something that they like and that they thrive on. So really, really good, informative book, and kind of a different approach from more conventional chicken raising. Okay, so this one, The Beginner's Guide to Raising Chickens. Again, because it's so wordy, I don't see it being one that my kids would really dive into, but it could be a really great resource to keep on hand. There's not a lot of photography in here. It's mostly like words and digital sketches, but it covers a lot of information. I don't want to say any of these books are bad. They're all definitely good, but this is probably one that I might be returning just because I don't think it's one that we will make the most of or that my kids will enjoy. But it is very, very well written and very thorough. Okay, let's dive into the last one, The Chicken Chick's Guide to Backyard Chickens. Simple steps for healthy, happy hens. So this is Kathy Shea Mormino, and I believe she refers to herself as the chicken chick. So really cute. This one, I loved it. It was almost like a happy balance between super informative and entertaining and easy to read. There are several photos and real life examples of raising your chickens. A really good balance between photos and words. So I do feel like this is something that my older kids could probably soak up and enjoy. She covers all the good stuff. Let's take a look at the index really quickly. Why to keep chickens, creating a healthy, comfortable home, dealing with predators and pests, selecting your chickens, caring for the baby chicks, food and water, health basics, seasonal considerations, chicken psychology, and all about eggs, and landscaping with chickens. So you can see it covers a lot of great information, very thorough and very well balanced for just about anybody. So those are the books that I picked up and have looked at. I'm sure there are many great ones out there, but these are the ones I did a lot of research on before I even purchased them to make sure that they were going to be worth our time. I hope this has been a helpful video for you, whether you already have your chicks or you're gearing up for your own little flock. Now, perhaps you never thought about getting baby chicks until I tempted you with these little cuties. I have to say their sweet chirping sounds have helped boost my spirits during this drawn out Utah winter, and I really love how happy they make my kids. Remember, knowledge is power. If anything, I hope I've inspired you to dig into a book of interest and learn as much as you can. I will leave a link below to a page that's full of many of my favorite books not related to chickens. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to make more of these types of videos for you, so be sure to subscribe and sign up to my newsletter and catch everything I post, and then come back for more inspiration for do-it-yourself living.